These are the tales and ramblings of two men, their dream of running a successful food truck business and life. We invite you along to join Josh and Skippy on this journey. This is Monday Morning Food Truck.
It is not our first day. It is our 18th day.
It is our 18th day.
18th?
Happy week of Thanksgiving, bud.
Oh my goodness, you too. I'm so excited. Yeah, our Thanksgiving plans have changed all over the place over here. So
5 a.m. comes early, doesn't it?
5 a.m.
Isn't that when you're doing the pre-Thanksgiving day?
Oh, for Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, that you're not gonna have any sleep whatsoever.
None. That's okay.
Careful where that camera's going.
That's in the shot.
Oh, we're just throwing that one. You guys barely won. Okay, a little too close to comfort there.
How'd Michigan State do?
I don't know. Probably lost.
Barely lost it, right? Barely works as long as it's on the lost side, right? No, we barely lost. It's a moral victory.
It's a rebuilding year.
Yeah.
Every year is a rebuilding year.
You're not supposed to have those when you just give your coach a big giant raise.
Well, he hasn't responded to my letter on whether he's still coming or not. So,
The Thanksgiving?
no, Tuck is his whole motto is Tuck is coming.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wasn't familiar.
he must have not showed up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Our coach took a pay cut, and look what happened.
Because he was underperforming for what he was paid.
Yeah.
So
he volunteered a pay cut.
He should have.
Mhm.
Still don't believe in him.
Well, we'll see how this weekend goes.
Only took him, what, 8 years for a decent recruiting class?
He's had lots of decent recruiting classes.
Oh,
Just take some time to get things in the right orders, you know?
yeah. So Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yeah.
I got somewhat of a busy week. What about you? I saw your schedule. It's 2 things this week.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm part-time, man. I don't work hard anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, just what were we skipping last week? Yeah, just 2 things this week. No, the big one.
We don't have to skip last week. I just know it's part-time. So I didn't really want to. Actually, all right. Yeah, let's start with that. How was last week?
Let's see. Tuesday we were pretty much on pace for what we did our opening day, which is good. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, but it was pretty much a good mix of repeat customers and new customers. Well,
Did the guy come back and order a Reuben without the sauerkraut?
Not yet. He will. He will. Without a doubt, he will. Whether it's for a sandwich or if it's for barbecue is to be determined, but he will be back. He said he would be. And that was before I offered him a gift card. So, what are you looking at over there?
My wife printed out a recipe. Oh, and you can't see it.
No.
Oh, it's for
Buckeye bars. Is that what I saw?
That's what you saw.
Oh my God.
Anything peanut butter, I'm down for. Anything peanut butter.
Can you change the name?
I wish. I absolutely wish you could change the name. But that's what they're known as. So we gotta go with what we know.
So, anyways, yeah, Tuesday was a good day. It's starting to feel normal. So the processes are starting to get nailed down. It's running a lot more smooth. Thursday came around, which is when we entered the winter storm warning on this side of the state. So 7 a.m. was the official start of the winter storm warning. It started pretty much at that time, and was snowing from then until it stopped yesterday. So if you can see behind me, we finally have a mostly cloudless sky, which is a nice change. But yeah, it snowed. Probably by the time we were done with lunch, we had already had 4 to 5 on the ground. Roads were crap. Everything was pretty much crap, and that was our busiest day we've had.
Wow.
By probably 50%.
Where'd you
So-
set up at?
Spectrum Health Office, so urgent care.
Yeah.
We were there the week before. But it was 74 degrees out the last time we were there selling soup and sandwiches. So, which is, when you think about it, that's Michigan. We go from 74 one Thursday to low 20s and record-setting snowfall that day in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
So the most snow we've had on the ground this early since 85.
Wow.
Yeah. Wayland had 20 inches of new snow.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it's to the point where the parking lots have the piles already. We're gonna have snow on the ground in some form until spring. So, and that's even with rain in the forecast in a couple days. So, anyways, so yeah, Thursday was great. The pace, the separation of the orders. We didn't have anything that was super slammed. It was a very nice pace, where we didn't get everybody at once, so it made it a lot easier. It was probably 98% text orders on that day, which made it even better. It's exactly what we wanted to see. So we were able to tell people 20 minutes, and for the most part, food was ready when they showed up. So all they had to do was walk up, pay, and go, which was awesome. So yeah, we had full intention, even with the worsening road conditions and everything. Thursday night, we had planned on going Friday still. Like Friday morning, I had everything ready to go. Was just waiting back to hear from the babysitter for the kids, because every school in West Michigan was canceled. Just to hear when I could drop the kids off so I could get going. And it got word from Wiseman Distillery that they were not going to open for the day. And that one of the other businesses in the strip that we normally set up in was also going to stay closed for the day. Have their people work from home. So we made the call then, without those two things, just to call it, which is on a normal week without, it wouldn't have been as bad. So we ended up having to toss more food than we probably would have on a normal day where we would cancel, just because of how our schedule is set up this week, that we're not doing sandwiches again until Friday.
Yeah.
So once we slice and everything, it's a 6 day time frame that we have to use the stuff by.
Yep.
So stuff was sliced on Thursday, and we were just going to run out on Friday. Whenever we ran out, and because of the way this week is structured. So with us having to close, I had to toss some food and some soup. But I've been eating broccoli cheddar soup all weekend, which is a happy accident. So yeah, it sucks, but I mean, at least it wasn't barbecue. So, and that's why I switched the menu. If the weather got bad, I wasn't throwing away $500 worth of food, or $400 worth of food on 2 briskets and 4 butts and 8 pans of mac and cheese. So, all in all, it kind of worked. We weren't expecting to have to make that call so early in our winter season, but, yeah, it's good to know that the worse the weather gets, that we will still stay steady-ish busy. So, which was a good test this last week. So, I don't know that we can do $1,000 lunch and me maintain my sanity. So we did like just over 600 in the 3 hours doing soups and sandwiches. And we were working pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
We had 2 half-hour breaks where it was kind of slow. And that was right at the beginning and then right at the end. And I'll take the one right at the end every day we're open, because it allows us to get out of there shortly after we close. So pick up on dishes and stuff. But yeah, that was our week. You had a very full week. It sounded, at least location wise, I thought 5 days you did.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of throwaway your food.
Oh no.
Yeah, we started the snow for over here. I mean, it wasn't snowing, but it was more like sleeting and nastiness. It was Tuesday. And we went to a little subdivision that we normally go to. They had us park in a different spot because the road, see, the road is like this, goes down and then up. So it's almost like a bowl. And they always had to park always had us parked at the bottom of the bowl, and the street is so unlevel that you're on that, so you're constantly feeling like you're gonna. I feel bad for
Right.
any truck that goes there with a fryer. But we did okay. Actually, I think we for the 2.5 hours we were there, we did good. We did like, I don't know, 40 sales or something like that, about $1,000. So it was definitely worth it going. But it was just cold and rainy and nasty. And the next day we tried our lunch service or no, I apologize. We didn't do that because it was cold and nasty. So we did another subdivision that had asked us to come out like back in September, down a dirt road, and then you pull into this gorgeous sub in Ann Arbor. And everybody who I appreciate this, everybody who came up, A, said the food was great and they were looking forward to it, but B, was also saying that they appreciated us coming out, not, even though the cold, not backing out. And like, maybe this can be a topic, but they kept asking, has it been worth your time to come out here?
Mhm.
Has it been worth your time? Like, have you done enough? To the point where I said, yeah, we've done okay. To the point one guy said, well, let me send an email out to the whole community again, do kind of a last call for you to see if that works. I said, okay, sure, feel free. We're not leaving until the scheduled time, so we normally
Mhm.
stay until like 7. And he did, and he's like, well, I'll see if I can get you another 5 or 10 more people. And like, I think 7 more families showed up. So we did about close to 1,000 there. Friday, I was off Thursday. Friday was our first lunch service at our location in Brooklyn, Michigan. Quite busy intersection, a lot of traffic. I made a post on Facebook, to see, for followers or whatever, to first 10 people, gets a couple dollars off their meal. To mention this post, gets a couple dollars off the meal. So see if that would draw some people. And people kept saying, I saw you on Facebook. I saw you on Facebook, but nobody mentioned the post. Like, nobody. And I'm like, okay. I had this couple spend like $100 on their lunch,
Mhm.
for their whole, like, I guess, family kind of thing. So I think we did, I don't know, 13 sales maybe, and it was like $350. Not from 11 to 2 in wind and 20 degrees. I take that as a win.
Yeah.
And then I had a night service from like 7 to 11 at this artist battle where they bring artists in, or painters, whatever, in from all over the country. And of course it was like, felt like minus 20 out. So we did $350 there in 4 hours. So there's some food went in the trash on that one.
Yeah.
Saturday was great. Very, very cold, very, very windy again. We were out at Robin Hill Farms in Chelsea. Shout out to them. Adam and Brenna is awesome. They did what's called Wreath Fest. They pre-sold or sold out 600 tickets to people all over. I mean, there were people coming from Canada, there were people coming from the South, it was like a vendor market, but it was also like a wreath making class. And they gave everybody all the twigs and all that sort of stuff to make wreaths, whatever it is. Put them in a box. I mean, the place was a madhouse. We did over 2,000 there in 4 hours, sold out. The taco truck that was there, Whoa Tacos, shout out to them. Their food was amazing. First time I ever had a quesadilla thingamabobby, whatever it's called. It's like a shredded beef quesadilla, but it's like they drop, it's got consomme in it, and they cook it in consomme, and it was awesome. I couldn't put it down. They did open like half hour late, so we did have a good line for a little while. And then Sunday I was out at our local Meckley's Flavor Fruit Farms. That is always good to us. I haven't done less than probably $2,500 there. and we walked away with $650. And a lot, when I say a lot of food in the trash, I mean a lot, because we were planning, it was a vendor market, but again, it was windy. I think people will come out in the cold, but when the wind like just freezes your core and you can't move, I think that's what killed it.
Well, yeah, you don't want to stand outside and order and wait. So would you consider doing something like a text order and online ordering?
We kind of, right? So I have
This is for Mr. Lodato, who,
yeah. So I have an iPad
Yep.
that I keep in the truck as like a backup hotspot just in case, because it's different services from my phone. And it has its own cell number. So I was thinking about giving that cell number out and just have the iPad up, and using that for text to order. My thought is, then I have to ring it into the register under a tab, or right in we use the Square terminal. I know it's like, yay big.
Yeah.
Which we can do. We have open tickets and stuff.
Not as quick as it is on a, like for mine on the POS, that
and
I get a good sized keyboard to.
So for the food truck rallies, I think, I don't think it's worth it, because again, there were 4 other food trucks there, or 3 other food trucks there too. And it just wasn't our day, which is fine. I'm okay with that. At the end of the season, just not our day. But that, when we talked about layers of risk, that hurt. Like I I wanted to cry throwing that much food out. I threw away what the equivalent of a brisket, a full pan of mac and cheese, and 4 pork butts.
Yeah.
And it hurt.
Been there.
I mean, it hurt.
Been there.
Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it sucks when you think that you have the money spot on the money day and they're doing something extra, and you prepare like hell for it, and you think you're finally like, I got this one nailed, this is a no-brainer, and then it's crickets all day long. That sucks.
I mean, we had a lot of people come back to, bringing customers back saying our food was great, appreciate it, that's great feedback.
But even like on to do it for a day, for text order or online ordering, I mean,
if I can go to, well, this is my last week, so I mean, realistically, I probably can't really test it out, because I'm not going to be really anywhere where I can, because I don't carry the iPad on me. So if I put it on my Facebook, I'd have to put it on my Facebook account like the day of, because if I do it earlier and somebody texts me something, I'm not going to see it until I open the iPad. So that'd be the only thing. But I could, for what Nick was saying, I definitely could do that. I just really haven't. I know somebody told me that they were thinking about, Amazon has the buzzer system, so they can, and I've used one. Well, I've had one used before, and the only thing that I don't like about it is, like, if you get the buzzer system, it comes with like 16 buzzers, and if you call somebody, make that buzzer go off, and they don't come up for some reason, and the next order is done, or the next order after that's done, you have to cancel the one that you've already buzzed. So now it goes out. Now it stops buzzing, just to send somebody else's food out.
You can only buzz one at a time?
On the one that we used, you can only buzz one at a time.
Okay. So Pennant Pizza Pennant, one or the other, had it when we were at an event with them, and there was multiple people walking up with buzzers at the same time, and it worked great when we had it. They said the only problems they've had is they didn't want to give us one because they've had problems with it going through 2 trucks worth of metal, which I get, because we lose cell phone signal in our, depending where we're standing at in our trailer, we drop cell signal sometimes. So they said it works great, and I considered it for a minute just for the bad weather days, but I don't know. And you had mentioned someone texting early, So we actually had someone that doesn't follow our Facebook super close on Friday, text in an order at 11:30. And I had the phone inside just in case it happened. And I was just doing something else and never heard it go off. And then a half hour later or an hour later, the phone rang. The guy just wanted to know when I said, send in an order, just want to know when I could pick it up. It's been a while and I haven't heard back from you.
Yeah.
Next Friday.
Yeah, that was that was like when I was at the subdivision on Tuesday. The organizer texted me, and I don't, if I'm busy, if I'm doing it myself, I don't really look at my phone at all.
Yeah.
And so I never would have got it. And luckily she came up, and ticket times are fast to begin with, but it's like I didn't see it, and I would feel horrible, like if somebody texted me and like I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Now there's 30 people in line, and I can't. Their food's not done yet.
And that's the part that there's no way I could run that truck by myself doing sandwiches and soups.
Yeah.
Especially with, like I said, 98% was text ordering. I mean, there was points where Pam is dedicated to do it.
Yeah.
And she was having a hard time sometimes figuring out which ones were already put in.
Yeah.
So it'd take her a couple extra minutes to double check to make sure that we hadn't put it in yet. And then, and she's an Apple user and I gave her an Android phone. So there's some learning curve there too with the text messaging, but
she hated life for those 10-15 minutes. I am thinking about going to an Apple, just so you know.
Sorry.
But
yeah, so yeah, and I've tossed back and forth online ordering. And I've always said that the inventory part makes me nervous. People being able to order and me not being able to get to the inventory quick enough. Yep. And Lodato says, I just have an extra tab open. I don't have a laptop or a device with me that I'm not running tabs off of a computer. It's off of the actual POS. What I want to try the next time we're open, because we have an option so we can long hold a button and it pulls up a couple options. So we can select an item, just hold it, and it'll pop up a couple options.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember it saying unavailable or whatever, or make unavailable, which might be the way we do it. So
yeah.
If I can figure out a way to manage the inventory easily.
Yeah, because like if you have a run on broccoli cheddar soup and you're out and you get a text order for broccoli cheddar soup, it's like then you got to respond, hey, apologies, we're out of soup.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just.
And we're running into that now. We'll have 8 turkey bacon clubs come through. I'm like, do I have enough bacon? Do I have anything?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, it's getting easier. They're becoming easier days and funner days. Kind of the nice relaxed pace and just kind of chugging through the 3 hours and not super stressed and making some money. So yeah, if we can keep hitting that 6 to, would love to get to 8, but on a consistent basis, but it's paying some of the bills, which is good. So that was the goal. And
make sure you save enough to give your team Christmas bonuses.
Yes. Pam wouldn't take one. So Chris denied his too. So Chris's Christmas bonus is getting to work on Wednesday. So he's thrilled. He can't wait. It'll be fun. I did get from the program director. Yeah. From GRD asking if it would be okay if we comped 6 meals for the show staff. I guess. Which I was already planning on doing a platter of stuff. And I think I'm doing 2 racks of ribs just for those guys. I was already planning on doing so.
Do you remember how to cook barbecue?
Yeah. Piece of cake. It hasn't been that long.
So are you going to do your normal amounts?
I'm probably doing more than normal amounts.
You really think you're going to be that? Like you're the only truck there, right?
Yeah.
How many people are going to be there?
If they sell it out, it's 700.
And how many Have you asked how many tickets they've sold so far?
Not yet, no. I'll ask later today, kind of see where they're at. But yeah, there's no other food. And people are drinking at 6 o'clock in the morning. Bar opens at 6.
Can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
That's right. So
It's true that.
and if you have carbs. So yeah, probably doing extra mac and cheese. We're probably gonna push the loaded macs hard. Yeah, I mean, we're taking off sandwiches, we're taking off the Dorachos. Just because of time to
Taking
it
off
takes to make them.
sandwiches.
What's that?
Taking off. What do you mean taking off sandwiches?
No, pushing sandwiches, taking off Dorachos.
Okay. I thought you
Meat
said-
by the pound, no meat by the pound, no Dorachos. Yeah. And we'll see. It should be busy. This is back to yours. It should be busy, and if it's not, we're throwing away a lot of food. So
There goes all the money on the money for the last 2 weeks.
thanks, Skippy. But yeah, I mean, that's the other reason why I'm not too worried about us not working tomorrow, is because that day should cover it, and then some. So
Yeah, we have. So I have today and tomorrow off. Gotta do some stuff around the house before my wife kills me. She'll end up killing me anyway, but that's fine. And we're doing a lunch service back at the same spot in Brooklyn Wednesday morning,
that's the one that you paid the $250 for the month or whatever.
110.
100, yeah. So for the month to show up as many times as you want, type of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna do that, and then we have an afternoon service at a local distillery called Drinksgiving. We always do semi decent there. The last time we were there, it was kind of hit or miss. It was back to the warm weather, and I think everybody was outside either Christmas lights or, picking up their leaves. And then we're gonna go downtown in our fair city and hook up with another food truck and just sell to drunk people. See what we can do. And then Thanksgiving, I'm actually so I had a local pizza guy who has a brick oven, so the one from Italy or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna exchange turkeys. So he's gonna cook a turkey in his pizza oven, and I'm gonna smoke one for him, and we're gonna exchange. Then
It's
Friday,
going to be hard to do.
that's what I thought, but hey, I mean, he was supposed to be. It's funny that he was supposed to be out at this last little food truck rally yesterday, but in his trailer, I mean, his pizza oven, he cooks from the outside in, so he stands outside underneath tents.
Yeah.
And he didn't show, or gave his spot away to somebody else. I'm like, man, you could have survived. But then I'm like, oh, you'd have died. Like that wind would have absolutely just killed you.
Yeah.
And then we're actually for day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, we're gonna be set up at a mall, right on the edge of a high traffic street, Best Buy parking lot, and me and another food truck and a coffee truck will be there, and we're going to donate 10% of our sales to the local shelter.
Nice.
So we're going to and the event that we made has been shared, I don't know, 16, 17 times so far. So I'm hoping that it'll be a good day for me, but it'll also be a good day for the shelter too.
Yeah. Well, good. That sounds like a good week.
And that's my last day.
Like,
Fridays,
you don't have any more events at all?
I have one event in December, but it's basically my last day.
Okay. Last day of public service type of thing.
Last day of dealing with grease for a while.
Yeah, we're doing our best Spectrum office is Friday. We had asked if they were open. Figured it might be a good day to get their staff some food, since they're going to be stuck there and there's nothing around there. So should be a good day for soup and sandwiches. Hopefully not everybody brings in leftovers. That is a location that has been begging for food trucks, and since we've been there regularly, Yeah, they've been very happy. They show up for us every time. I have noticed that some of the other food trucks in the area that follow us have been pilfering our schedule in the winter months. I'm seeing a lot of people that follow us taking our locations, which is fine. Like the Spectrum location, a couple of the trucks in the area have hopped into that had never been before, are now going, which is fine. And there's room for that place would take 5 food trucks a week if they could, all summer long.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. So yesterday, I was talking with the food truck that we'll be downtown with, and he was supposed to be at another bar somewhere else. And when he told me he was going down there, I'm like, of course you are. Like, I was going down there first. He knew I was going down there. He's like, well, all right, well, I'm gonna go down. We were gonna go there. I'm like, of course you would. Of course you'd go down there. Same day I do.
Yeah. It's one of those where, because I try to get down on a different day. They're like, nope, we got this truck going. I was like, really? I wonder how they heard about that. But it doesn't hurt my feelings. Just think it's odd. I mean, I do the same thing. I've seen other people's schedules like, hadn't thought about that location. I wonder if we can get into type of thing. So,
Yeah.
But it's interesting that no one hopped on until we're closed for the winter type of thing.
Yeah.
Which, whether that's out of respect for us or they're just having a harder time finding locations, so they're looking at other schedules now. But there is room for all of us, and I just hope at some of these locations that we've been going to for a while that we get some preferential treatment coming next year. So
yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking at now is like, okay, so I do this mall thing. It's a very, very high traffic corner. Am I going to be able to set up there for a lunch service during the week next year?
Yeah.
They tried to do them in the middle of the mall parking lot, and it was just dead because none of the anchor stores could see us, and it was just absolutely dead. So I'm hoping, being in the major anchor store, they have a Best Buy and a Kohl's, and there's a Texas Roadhouse in the parking lot. There's a B-Dubs in the parking lot, kind of far away. And then you have a Potbelly and a Panda Express, like a little bit farther down. I mean, there's all fast food restaurants all the way down, but I'm going to do biscuits and gravy for breakfast. We're going to be there at like 8:00 in the morning. Speaking of, 8:00 comes early.
I'll take 8 over 5.
That's true. So you have to be there by 5 or be there by 4?
We have to be ready to sell by 5.
Yeah. So
Or no, 6. Ready to sell.
You posted 5.
Yeah, I should probably double check.
You posted 5.
Ruh-roh.
You're welcome.
It's the difference between reading something and saying it out loud.
Oh, I get that.
All right, so 4:30 to 4. He'll be ready for us 4:30 to 5 to set up. Yeah, because I don't think the live portion starts until 6, but I think they were. Let me get back to the beginning here. Okay, ready to serve customers by 6. Alcohol service starts at 7.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
Your camera turned off. Oh, there you are.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm there between 4:30 and 5. But that means, I mean, I'm used to being up that early. That's not the problem, but I'm also up right now 7 hours before we start service on a normal day to do everything else. So the mac and cheese and everything else. So that then shifts. Am I doing mac and cheese at midnight now? Do I just shift the whole schedule? Or because I'm not getting up earlier, I'm not sure how I'm doing this.
Has anybody yet asked you to do a dinner service yet?
No. No. I had somebody from Newego asked if there was a chance that we would make it up for a lunch service during the week, and I told them probably not. I mean, the problem is it would have to be such a spur of the moment, like check the 10-day forecast, check the 5-day forecast.
Yeah.
For me to schedule it, I'd have to feel really good about the weather pattern in that week for me to make that hour drive each way.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even out to Wiseman, it's 25 minutes, and that was straight across M6, which it would have been a shit show. And I'm so glad we canceled. Just pure safety wise, it wasn't a smart decision for us to go. It would have been one thing if it was 5 minutes down the road and around the corner type of thing, but it was probably not the smartest choice for me to be in for as long as I was. Yeah, but no one's asked us for dinner yet. I'd probably entertain it if it was the right spot.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's kind of what we were thinking was like, is it worth shutting down dinner service and just doing lunch service? Because maybe I'd stay open if it's just lunch service. But
right.
because dinner
so
service,
looking for
dinner
a comment
service
here. I mean, yeah, because lunch service is easier from a in the winter standpoint, right?
yeah, other than the
Lack of people.
smoker.
Well, yeah, but at least you're in the warmer part of the day. It's daylight out. It's you don't have to.
Technically, right around between 3 and 5 o'clock is the warmest part of the day for some reason. I haven't figured that out yet, but then it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah. But at least it's sunny out.
Yeah.
Roads in theory are the clearest at that time of day because they've been clearing them in the morning, and unless you're snowstormed at. But yeah, then you're stuck though. If you get a shitty weather day, you have to go.
Yeah.
Like a barbecue, it's go or die.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the thing is I was thinking about changing up the menu to drop sandwiches and just do I was thinking about just doing like ribs and chicken, like chicken quarters or wings or something like that. Something that everything has a handle that can easily be, we'll still do mac and cheese because you gotta have mac and cheese, but there's ribs have always been good for us lately.
Yeah.
Wings are typically always good for us, but it's like it's cheaper product to cook and produce, where if you do have to throw stuff away, I guess in my head too is if I don't sell it, it's not just a waste of food, but then it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And I always get all pissy.
What else do you have going on?
Nothing, but it's just a waste of I'm braving the cold to cook this for you people.
I'm giving up a damn nap.
I haven't taken a nap in a long time, bud.
I took a nap yesterday. I fell asleep on the couch in the middle of the day. It was glorious. Didn't even realize I did it until I woke up. I was like, what time is it? It's like an hour and a half later.
Did you catch Yellowstone last night?
I am still on season 1.
Oh, gosh. Did you catch the season finale or series finale of Walking Dead?
No. That is another one that I don't roll your eyes at me. I love the show and I love the previous. I haven't watched any of this season yet. I have to do it all at once.
Oh, you're a binge.
It makes it easier for me to focus and to keep things straight. But not only that, I'm gonna have to rewatch at least the second half of last season.
Yeah.
To remind myself, because I binge it and I don't watch anything in between the year,
Well, just so you know, starting Thanksgiving Day at 11 on Paramount Network, they're doing a Yellowstone marathon.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Or I can just watch it on the Paramount streaming app that I pay for.
Whatever.
Because I have all of them. I'm paying like $1,000 a month for TV service.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah. Glad I ditched cable and went to all these streaming services.
Right.
Saving all this money. No, I was looking for a comment. We had a comment somewhere.
Yes, we had a comment from our friends over at the Vegan Truck Craveable about
Were they the ones asking about water?
Yeah, asking how we're doing, how we're keeping our water and not ice.
So I'm gonna guess that was pointed more at me because I'm going through the winter, but I will let you start on what you've been doing with water this week. If you were open during these cold days.
Yeah, I posted. I keep a 500-watt space heater in my cabinet, and it keeps it it keeps that area above freezing. I do have my freshwater tank is on the floor. My gray water tank is underneath. But realistically, it's keeping your water pump from freezing. It takes a while. It depends on how much water you have in your freshwater tank. It'll take a while at cold temperatures to freeze it. But if your water pump is frozen, then you're out of business.
If you're pumping lines that are the concern.
Yeah. So keep your, like I said, it's just a 500 watt space heater. So it's not drawing a whole lot of power, but it's putting out enough heat where it's going to keep everything. I ran my water yesterday just fine when other people were frozen. So I would drain your gray water tank just to try to keep that as empty as possible. Because if it's frozen, then you just have a lot of extra weight. But otherwise, just I keep a little space heater in there. I tried to run I don't have a fancy schmancy thermostat that Mr. Hans does over here to keep his air conditioner / heater going. Anyway, please
touch on a couple of those things. That is the hardest part for us is the wastewater or the gray water dump and not having that valve freeze because there's not as much water there. So it doesn't take as long for that valve.
Yeah. Good point.
So on one of our, because we have 2 gray waters, one for the hand wash sink that was on the bottom, it would freeze like that valve. So you'd pull on the 2 little nubs on the side, and we've had it frozen enough times that those have broken off now. So you got to get a pair of pliers to pull the slide now. Yeah, that's the biggest issue that I have with water. But yeah, we do the same thing. So Skippy mentioned our roof mounted AC / heater, which normally works great. Friday night, it would have been Thursday night. So I am pretty nervous about temperature in my trailer all the time. So I routinely go out in the evening. I'll go out first thing in the morning, even when we're not running, just to make sure everything's good, temperature's good. And this is why. I had an error code on the heater, the roof mounted heater, Thursday night. Yeah. So my guess is that driving back along the highway in the snowstorm, that it was stationary enough, the fans and everything were stationary enough that enough cold, wet air got in there that it locked up. Yeah, it locked up the fan blades. I mean, I don't know if you can still see me, but one of my screens just went blank. Hold on.
I can see you.
Okay. So, and it has been that way since. I've tried to turn it on a few times, but with as cold as it's been, there's no way it's going to do it on its own. So I have, in conjunction to that heater on the roof, I also had a small space heater with my cabinet door open to underneath my sinks, just pointed in there. And between the two, running intermittently because they both will adjust and stop as they need. It stayed 68 degrees in there, 64 to 68, which is awesome to walk into in the morning when it's 30 degrees outside.
I turned my heater on. I remember talking with our friend in Northern Illinois, Big E, about his trailer. They had asked if the trailer I got had heat. I'm like, well, it's got a roof mounted, it's got a heat strip in it. I said, that'll work. He's like, until it doesn't work. So I walked out of my garage yesterday or 2 days ago, and I did have the heater running on low heat because mine's a knob. I don't have the thermostat, and I could hear it not sounding good.
It's amazing how in tune you get to the sounds that everything makes on the trailer.
Yeah, so it definitely didn't sound good. So I turned it off, and I've just been using, when I go out the first thing in the morning, I'll turn the warmer on. Surprisingly, over the course of really cold days, the only part that was cold in my trailer was just the table in front of my window.
All the stainless steel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everything else was definitely well manageable. I mean, I had a sweatshirt on, and I have, a 5 foot by 3 foot window.
Yeah.
So I was good. The warmer helps it, but during those, obviously the wintertime, I'm not going to keep the warmer on because I don't want to ruin the heating element in it.
Right.
So what I'll probably do, since I have a 30 amp cord now, is I might end up getting a bigger space heater, like maybe 1,000 or 1,500 watt one,
Mhm.
and just keep the cabinets open, because I really don't want to winterize it in case there is something I want to go do.
Yep.
But a bigger space heater will probably help, because it's a smaller box. It's only a 10-foot box. So
Yeah.
a 1,000 or 1,500 watt space heater. The little space heater right now keeps it just about like 40, 45 degrees. So nothing's freezing. It's going to be
Yeah.
cold, but nothing's freezing.
So I have two. Well, the new one I just got was 1,500 watts. Because 40 is not going to work for me. Walking in there at 4 o'clock in the morning. But it takes so long for everything else to warm up at that point, so it's, then the heating cabinet takes another. And if I can keep the water in the holding tank warmish, I'll have an easier time getting that water to a hot temperature when I'm doing dishes and stuff. So yeah, I'm running two of those. I got the other one Friday morning after we bailed on service, but it had dropped from the normal 64. It was 48 to 50 in there that morning, which made me nervous that it dropped that much overnight. So I'll err on the side of it being too warm in there.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it's 80 degrees in my trailer in the morning. But
Well,
even then, it finally just now got back up to like 62 today, and they've been running both nonstop since Friday. So
your electric bill.
It's either AC in the house or the heater's on the trailer. Take your pick.
Well, and here's the thing too. So I've had my 30 amp plug for 2 months now.
Yeah.
And last month's electric bill was like $450. This month's electric bill is $500. And I look at it though, half of that is electric, half of that is gas.
Okay.
And the only thing in our house that's gas is the furnace and the hot water heater.
Yeah. And
so for all these people that think food trucks are making big money, just wait till we have all this extra bills, because we have our food truck plugged into our house to make sure everything's going well. That's kind of a big deal that a lot of people don't think we don't have to worry about. Even my helper, I was telling her about the 9x6 containers, the styrofoam containers that I use for a meat and a side, or a sandwich and a side, or loaded mac or whatever. Those went up by, I don't know, almost $20 a case. People don't, I'm going off on a different tangent here, but
go ahead.
People don't understand how much oils come down for people with fryers, which that's great for them. I'm happy it's finally coming down for them. Meat's coming down for us, but it seems like
everything else,
the takeout containers, foil. I bought foil the beginning of last week, and it was almost $40. I'm like, Jesus, man, it's freaking aluminum foil. And all that stuff is just, and it jumps. They don't give, it might be $27. You go in the next day, and it might be 40.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you really serious that it's, and I find that Gordon's is kind of I love my Gordon's. I love the people there, but I find that they're the worst when it comes to price increases. They just do it, boom, right then and there.
Yeah.
Instead of kind of,
it's like they try to hold off as long as they can, and then it's like, well, here it comes. Yeah.
So question about that. So let's just say things keep going up, right? Let's just say, hopefully not, but let's just say. I'll ask you a question as a consumer and as a food truck operator. So those are your two answers. Okay. Would you rather go to a food truck that you've been to, that you've paid X amount of dollars for Y item, right? Would you rather that order now be a smaller portion for the same price, or the same size portion for a higher price?
Can I give you it depends?
Quality, everything is the same. It's just portion size.
But how big was the portion to begin with? So that takes, you and I don't do the same portion sizes.
Let's say go by yours.
I would take a smaller portion for the same price.
So if you have a brisket sandwich and a side of mac and cheese, let's just say is $15. And let's
Okay.
say your brisket sandwich is a third pound and your mac and cheese is 8 ounces.
By volume, yes.
Okay. So you would, and it's $15. So you'd rather charge $15 and maybe go to a quarter pound and 6 ounces.
Sure.
How do you think that would be?
I have no idea. I don't know. And that's what I go through every spring when I go to reset prices and look at prices. And it's, do we change prices or do we change sizes, or do we go down to just one size for our sides instead of two? And just go to we kind of split the difference on size and we go to the higher price. And that's kind of what we did with the sides for our winter menu. We're only offering the 8 ounce side containers, but I bumped that price up $1 from what we do from the summer. Or 50 cents.
On your menu for soups, you have $5, and then it says dash or hyphen or dash forward slash. Sorry, 9.
That's for soup, not for sides.
Correct. What's the 9?
Size wise?
No,
So
it says $5 forward slash 9.
Yeah, so $5 or $9, small or large.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had a small or large soup. I apologize.
Yep.
Okay.
So still 2 sides for soup, 1 side for sides, 1 size for sides.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's just kind of us. And the reason I wanted to do a completely, like, we're not even doing Faygo Pop on the winter menu. We're doing Coke.
Yeah, I saw that.
We wanted to create as much separation between the 2 sides.
Pepsi's cheaper.
So that way we can kind of I can play with the price a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, can we, wrong words, or not great words, but can we get away with charging X?
Yeah, no.
What's the response to that without us kind of damaging the image on the barbecue side, our main business side? So,
yeah.
And it's like, we're doing $2 for a pop, and we were $1 for Faygo, and I think we bumped up to $1.50 this year just because Faygo went up. But the places that we're selling the most pop are places that have vending machines inside that sell bottles of pop for the same price.
Yeah, you held out.
Like, I don't get it, but
You held out your changing your prices for like probably a year longer than you had to.
Our prices have gone up every year.
Not by much though.
No.
I mean, not by much at all. I mean, if negligible, if anything.
To cover the costs, cover costs of disposables, not of meat, but yeah.
Yeah, the disposable, that whole, it's amazing. Like, it's just amazing how that stuff will change so rapidly.
Well,
and it makes people look for other opportunity. Is it worth me staying in my hometown for Gordon's and buy it for X price, where I can travel, 45 minutes to a Restaurant Depot, maybe get more stuff, but get it for, $10 cheaper.
Yeah, but then you're gonna spend $10 in gas and another hour in time.
I know. And it's like, but it's hard at this moment. It's hard for me to rationalize that. Like,
and I hate to be, so your 9x6 containers, how many of those come in a case?
Like 125, I think.
So you're 16 cents more a container roughly. So yeah, which
I think
to me is significant.
38 bucks. 38.
So you said if it goes up $20, and that's 16 cents a container.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's your cost per item extra. So that's how I base my price increases. We were making money at X for before, and I just look at disposable stuff when I'm looking at that, unless I think meat is going to stay high forever, like these are the new normal prices.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, because that stuff fluctuates so much, and we had significant price increase year one when we first hit COVID and stuff started going high. That was when we had our significant price increase. Like, we went an extra $4 on a rack of ribs in 2020, and they've stayed there.
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
So that's when we had our, and maybe I'll share this our 2019 to 2020 or even early 2020 prices compared to late 2020 prices. Because we didn't do printed menus and we were still doing chalkboards.
Yeah.
So it was a little easier to fluctuate that. But yeah, we had significant price jumps that year. And then we just kind of stayed steady on the meat prices and will continue to stay steady, even though meat prices are starting to come back to where they should be or normal. We'll keep them where they are because that'll help cover the rest of it.
Yeah.
That'll give us some cushion and that'll allow us to maintain our pricing structure.
Rich, if you're listening, we need gallons of Judgment Day in stock, please.
They're out again.
They're out of stock again. I had to buy a case of half gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I've had to do before? I've had to get the little bottles before for a week's worth of sauce.
You know, actually for sauce, we actually have not. So I began the season just putting a gallon of sauce out there with a pump and just have people get their own sauce.
Yep.
We stopped doing that halfway through. And like if people want extra sauce or a side of sauce, we'll give them a side of sauce.
Yep.
But it's helped us as far as how much sauce I was ordering.
Yep.
And nobody really complains, you know, I want more sauce or anything like that. So only if we do ribs or wings, we give sides of sauces with them. But sandwiches, I just, you know, drizzle it on like normal.
Yep. And we're the same way. We do 2-ounce souffle cups. And it's 1 for a half a pound, 2 for a pound. And if anybody asks for extra while they're ordering, they get charged for it. It's a quarter a cup. So
going back to more disposable stuff.
Yeah.
So if we're set up at like an event or a festival or something, we'll use the 2 or 3 pound food boats, right?
Yep.
Tell me how like the 3 pound food boats at Gordon's is like, I think they're like $20 for I don't know 100 of them or something like that. But the 2 pound food boats, which are like 125, are like $33.
I know why.
Supply and demand.
Nope. It is
Why?
not.
Why?
Specialty items.
2 pounder specialty items? Sam's carries cases of them.
Okay, Sam's does. But for Gordon's, it's a specialty item. When they order them to have them manufactured, they're specialty, kind of like the 9x6s. Those hoagie boxes that they're called hoagie boxes, I think. Those 9x6s. It's a specialty box. Well, it's a non-standard size box, or just like the 8x8s. You're going to pay just a smidge more per box because it's a non-standard size box. So it's considered a specialty item, so they charge more for it. Yeah, because I've been down that rabbit hole. Like, I'm getting less and I'm paying more. Yeah. So that's why. So then you have to figure out your price per container, and is it worth it to have the smaller container or just go to bigger containers? So just like I would love to go to biodegradable stuff, but it's just not cost effective. That would be a significant price jump for me.
Well, if they build a restaurant depot over on the west side of the state, get them from there, because we had to do a biodegradable event that required it. And for like 200 hamburger containers, basically, it was like $20.
So the one that we had to do one too, and that's why I kind of had forced the issue this year. We did everything in boats.
Yeah.
So we either did sandwich wraps, everything was wrapped in a paper, or we did boats for everything else. And then the only thing that we had that was non-biodegradable was silverware. And
I even got those.
What are they? They're paper?
No, they look like they're plastic silverware, but they're biodegradable plastic.
Really?
So
yeah, so that was the only thing we had that wasn't biodegradable, and there was no complaints from anybody that was there. But
yeah, the event furnished them for us.
Well, that's nice, because I don't imagine those were cheap.
No, they were $75 for 120 of them or something, like 125 of them. Yeah, crazy. All right,
one more quick topic, and then we're gonna wrap up.
Oh, all right. So at this festival that I was at on Sunday, one food truck was a burrito truck, was a hibachi truck, and they do hibachi style food inside burritos. Okay. So they're serving them wrapped in tinfoil. I served my stuff in a to-go container. The burger guy served his stuff in a to-go container. And then you had the taco truck that served everything in boats when it's like 20 degrees out. Do you think if you got that, would that give you a negative, not opinion, kind of a negative vibe from that truck that they're choosing to serve in boats and not something that can actually at least hold the heat for 10 seconds? Because they were doing loaded tots in a boat too. And like they came over, somebody got them, and then they came over to our truck to get something else. And I could
Did
just
they order to go?
I don't know. I can't tell you if they.
Oh, yours. When they came over to your truck,
no.
did they order to go?
I give everybody, if it's cold, I'm giving everybody those.
Well, I know, but that's how we know what the people next door to us are serving their stuff in. Because that's the only time we get asked if they can get something to go. Can I get that in a to go container? It's like, yeah, everything's to go. Where are you? You're not sitting down here. Come on in.
Come on in. Up a squat.
So yeah, every time we get asked that, it's the person next to us is only doing those boats. And
they didn't ask that, but
for me, I don't care. Because if I'm walking up to a food truck, I'm going to eat my food right then. I'm not taking it home. You know, I rarely would I go to a food truck to take food home. Well,
even if it's because there's no outdoor seating, so it's more of to take it inside or take it to your car.
Yeah.
So it's like I guess that's the only thing I was thinking about was like, I'm just seeing the steam and the heat just leave this lady's loaded tots as the other girl's getting like loaded mac and cheese, and it's beautiful. Anyway,
for me, yes, I would pivot to go containers if that was me doing that kind of, like if I only did boats during the summer.
Yeah,
if I'm gonna stay open through the winter. Yeah, I make that change.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that.
I would like once this episode airs for people to leave us some comments on what you feel comfortable with going to a food truck. If prices, continue to rise, is it the same money for a little bit less, or would you gladly pay, a couple dollars extra for the same amount of food? I'd love to see comments of that.
Yeah. And
it's not saying that we're doing that. It's just more of, I'd love to see the comments about, even from food truck operators or guests, what they're willing to do to because times are changing for sure, but you don't like that idea?
Times changing? No, I don't. I don't like the thought that these are just the prices that we have now going forward. And that they won't come back down.
At least for another 2 years. Oh, sorry, another topic.
Anyway. I did leave our YouTube feed unedited.
We'll see how long it stays.
I went back and forth a long time on that one. But I left it unedited. It wasn't too bad. It was worse in my head than what it was actually.
You were heated for
it. I struggle with the thought that the prices aren't going to come back to where they were, a little bit at least.
Well, I think
they usually do.
We know that meat prices have come down, and that's good. It's just more of, if those disposable keeps, it's all, if they keep going up, I mean, prices have to increase. If they
I don't imagine that they will. I think that we're going to hit what we kind of did with meat when that happened. I mean, it's the price doesn't need to be that high, but we're going to see what the market's going to tolerate. And I think that was part of what the meat supply issue was, that the meat supply wasn't a meat supply issue for as long as it was. We had falsely inflated prices because they could get away with it. And they wanted to see what the market would tolerate. Because we were fucked. We were up against a wall and had no other choice.
True.
And then finally, people stopped buying meat. People stopped buying ribs. People stopped. You know how many times I saw clearance ribs at Costco when they were $7 a pound or whatever?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, $5 off a package. Like, it's still $20 a rack for raw.
Yeah, for sure.
But so I think we have some of that going on a little bit. I think labor shortages and the increased labor costs are contributing, and that's not going to change. So it's now how fast can things get automated to offset those costs?
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen is we're going to see a larger amount of automation in these factories, which I don't know how much hands-on there is for styrofoam containers anyways. It seems like that would be fairly automated as it is, with lots of hot, whatever styrofoam is, and then a press. So,
Bigger.
so yeah, it's I think that, yeah, we'll have some correction at some point. It can't come soon enough.
No.
But yeah, things like butter and eggs and stuff like that is
Eggs are ridiculous.
$3.50 a dozen the last I saw. Yeah.
Aldi's had them for over $4, and that's Aldi's.
And that's usually, yeah, the place you could get them for still 70, 80 cents.
Yeah.
Even early 2020 you could. So yeah, it's that part is more scary to me than styrofoam containers and stuff.
So note to everybody listening, try to make friends with your chicken farmers. Because they have more than enough eggs to go around.
Yeah, and yeah, let's keep subsidizing farmers because that's a good idea. It is for some of them, but our government needs to stop trying to control prices on agriculture. Maybe we can loosen that up a little bit.
You just mentioned that word government. Jeez, oh Pete's. Edit that off YouTube.
Fuck no. Fuck YouTube.
All right, this has been a great fireside chat.
It has. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll talk again real quick before Thanksgiving for a little message. But yeah.
Enjoy your 5 a.m. event. I'll be looking for Facebook Live videos.
We might do a Facebook Live. We'll see how busy it is and whether or not I can sneak away to get that done. But yeah. Have a good week, Skippy. Huh?
Get all hands on deck for that, by the way.
Yep, Chris and Pam will both be there with me. So yeah, if it's just steady, I'll have time to maybe try to do something, but show our hordes of people that are waiting for food.
Hordes.
Not whores, hordes.
The walkers are coming. All right, bud. See you later.
Have a good one, man. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Stop.